Okay, so today's video is going to be Sloan's Caveman Necktie. Now, this is an original technique. Sloan invented this move, which is always a rare feat for any jiu-jitsu practitioner. To invent your own choke or invent your own submission or sweep or guard or pass is kind of a mark of honor because it is reserved for those who have the ability. And Sloan is one of those people that can create his own moves, and that's very, very rare. This choke is really effective because you're utilizing your own knee in their neck. And anytime you can add more limbs onto the choking pressure, that's going to help. So today we see a no-gi specialist putting on his gi. Are you going to do heel hooks in the gi? Is that what's happening right now?
Oh, damn straight I'm going to do heel hooks in the gi. Yeah.
This is a perfect time because we need to talk to you, Sloan, about your caveman necktie. Chance, what are you doing, Chance, with this video? So you invented this caveman necktie move that all these people are about to see right now. When was that? When did you start using that?
I was like 15 or 16.
And when people come up with new moves, there's always going to be someone that's like, oh, my coach from Ohio in 2006 was doing this move first. I've never seen anyone else do this move.
Yeah.
I think it's totally original. I'm guilty of that in the past, thinking I invented a move, but someone else had already done it. But I think in jiu-jitsu it's more like you discover a move, but certain times you invent a move. And this time this was an invention. Congratulations on your black belt, by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hopefully I tie this thing correctly. One of my dad's training partners, one of the guys who come over on weekends and train MMA with us. We'd be doing everything, boxing, jiu-jitsu, and all that stuff. He came over one day and he's like, hey guys, I saw this move. It's called the Kentucky necktie. And he's like, I don't know how well it'll work, but I want to try it on one of you guys. So he shows us this move, and I've looked it up since then, the Kentucky necktie. It's nowhere to be found. I'm sure he saw this somewhere, obviously. I don't know where, though.
This is the Kentucky necktie?
This is the Kentucky necktie. What are we doing? So he's like, you sprawl on the guy, you snatch his neck, and then like you drop your shin on his head like this, and you crank it, and I'm just like, I'm thinking, well, damn, that'll never work. You know what I mean? Like, there's just too much space there. It's as a naive 15-year-old kid, I still was like, I don't think that has a lot of like, I don't know.
Potential.
Exactly.
It's like you're pulling up on their neck rather than like choking them.
Yes, but that being said, I was always training with wrestlers. Guys were always shooting on me, and I'd get guys in front headlock a lot when I'd sprawl and stuff. And I was real big on guillotines from the time I started jiu-jitsu. And then, like one day, I was rolling with one of my friends, I remember, and I was like, man, there's some space here. I had his head in his arm. I was like, I bet if I slide my shin in there, like that'll work, And so I tried it, and I tapped him with it, and then I just started doing it like in almost every training session.
And you also came up with that weird like front choke with the arm in front choke, front naked choke.
Yes.
So that's another one.
Do you want to know the origin of that one?
What's that one?
Okay,
because those are your two like primary contributions to jiu-jitsu, like technically, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so that move actually started with like when I would get in fights with kids on the playground when I was younger. I remember getting put in fucking headlocks all the time. Guys would hold me in headlocks, and like bigger kids, you know what I mean? I'd be doing this and trying to escape, and I didn't have any answer. And then one day I remember this kid had me in a headlock. He has me in a headlock, and I'm doing this, and I threw my hand over his face, and I tripped him. Like I actually like slammed the kid, and that was like like a light bulb went off. And I was like, oh my gosh, that worked. That was a move, And I would do it when I would wrestle my friends in the front yard, and I did it in fights later on. When I feel like that happened to me so many times where I got put in a fucking headlock when I was a kid.
So show them his choke. How does this choke work? I'm headlocking you.
Okay, so he's headlocking me, and my fist goes in his neck. Now it all started here. I would like trip them or get them off of me with it. But then years later, I start doing jiu-jitsu. I'm training all the time, and whenever someone's arm would come up near my head,
just like this is enough.
Even here, or if I was in guard and someone was on top of me, that arm would come over, and I would do this. And at first, it started out as like I was just pushing the guys off me, right? But then I figured out, I was like, man, this is like causing a lot of pressure on the neck. So then one day I did this. And I started choking the shit out of people with it. And It worked, and I still do it to this day.
Put the clip of him choking that guy at Fight to Win in this.
Come on, work the caveman squeeze. That's the caveman. Come on, that's the caveman.
I'm more impressed with that choke, that you can make that work.
Yeah, and that's not the first time I've done it in competition. I've done it like a bunch in the past. But, you know, and I've learned to intertwine that with the arm crush.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'll
get
get
kind
guys.
of transition, yeah.
I'll get guys in the arm crush from like guard, and then I'll slip that fist in the neck, and then get here.
How do they try and defend usually? Like they try and do something like this, but there's not.
They flail.
And you just tuck your face in so they can't even get. Yeah.
Just like that. Yeah, just squeeze, and guys usually just flail. Like nobody ever does anything that's effective. Once I have it in, it's like that's one choke that I feel like there's no good defense to it. You know what I mean? It's just that you're just kind of stuck on them. And by like hugging the back of their head, you're kind of pushing their chin down, and it's like collapsing on your fist in a way that your fist is almost like stuck in their neck.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Saying, yeah.
It's like
kind of like the diesel squeezle. Your fist gets locked under their jaw, and they can't get it out, and that's what makes it strong.
You can't even get it out.
Right,
It's like you feel your fist is stuck in their neck. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
Sweet.
I love that one.
We'll have a good gi session. First gi session as a black belt.
I had to do it at least once just to feel official, see myself wearing a black belt.
And you got a nice gi for it too.
Yeah, you gave me this gi actually.
That's all my stuff.
This whole outfit
formerly mine.
Cornelius stuff.
All right, there you go. Yeah. Sloan, the inventor of the what do you call the first one or the second one? The front headlock?
Well, so I called it the Caveman Scissor Choke for a long time, but then you called it the Caveman Squeeze at that Fight to Win,
okay.
And I kind of like that more, so I've been calling it the Caveman Squeeze.
Okay, the Caveman Squeeze it is.
What do you think?
I think Caveman Squeeze is better.
I think so too. It's a little shorter, you know.
And it looks like a squeeze more than a choke. Like people look at it, it's just squeezing his head, but it's actually a really powerful choke.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's the Caveman Squeeze and the Caveman Necktie from Sloan. Congrats on your black belt, Sloan.
Thank you.
You guys are going to watch the video now.
Where can they pick up your course?
JujitsuX.com. There's going to be more to come too, all right? So stay tuned.
Yeah. He's going to update it.
All right, guys. Next, we're going to talk about my personal favorite move from front headlock, the Caveman Necktie. So, go ahead and start from this front headlock position. There are going to be times, you guys, where we're in this position and for whatever reason, we cannot seem to break down our partner's arm, okay? Maybe he's a really strong guy, or he's just doing a very good job of defending and not allowing his arm to get right next to his head like we want it to. We all know that makes all attacks easier when we can isolate our partner's arm next to the head. So he's being smart about it. Well, I have another really good option from here if he's being stubborn. What happens when we try to break down that arm is there's space between the shoulder and the neck or our partner's ear, okay? With that space, we're going to use it to put the shin in there and create a choke, okay? So first and foremost, I've tried to break this down. My partner knows what I want, so he's going to do a really good job of staying strong right here and not allowing me to break that arm down. Once I've realized I can't break it down, I'm simply going to step off to the side and change my angle. Okay, now, with my leg on the same side as that choking arm, I'm going to drop that shin right into my partner's neck. Go ahead and circle this way, like so. Now, one problem I had in the past was keeping my knee on the outside of my armpit. When that happens, it's just giving your partner a little bit of leeway to push that shin off from the neck. So let's always try to keep that knee right to the inside of the arm when executing this, okay? I want to keep my hands locked up underneath my partner's armpit. They do not move. From here, it's just going to be a squeeze, and that's where we get the tap. If your partner's being stubborn and you feel that you need a little bit extra weight behind it, we'll just sit straight back and hook the leg. Now I'm just going to drop and squeeze. So again, I've tried to break his arm down. He's being very stubborn, okay? I'm going to use this to my advantage and just switch angles. This leg comes right up into the neck, okay? And remember, the knee goes to the inside of your own armpit. Now from here, I'm gonna squeeze for the tap. If he's being stubborn and I need to put a little bit more weight behind it, I'll drop and I will hook his leg with my back leg for the finish. One more time.